Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space Mailbag, where we answer your questions about the Baltimore Ravens. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Have a great show, but first I want to say please subscribe for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. Also, if you want to help support us and you want to get your question on the exclusive Patreon Mailbag show, please check the description below for our Patreon page. Is the way that you guys can help us. And shout out to all Patreon subscribers. You guys are the lifeblood of the Raven Space. Now, I want to start the show with a question that I really like. It's going to be in-depth. I hope you guys like those in-depth questions. And this question is from Tanisha Hopewell. And she asked, do you think the Ravens should franchise tag Ryan Jensen? Thank you so much for your question, Tanisha. The answer is no. Now, I'll explain why. So, talent-wise, Ryan Jensen is a player that I would consider giving the franchise tag to. Started this season, played very well in the beginning of the season. We did see some of his weaknesses in the end of the season, but he's proven to us that he's a starting caliber center in the NFL, and the Ravens need that. So with Jensen, the Ravens have 3 pieces of the 5 to be a great offensive line. Now, the issue with the question was franchise tagging him. I don't think the Ravens are ready. I don't think you can franchise tag him right now. And there's a lot of reasons for that. So the first reason is you only get 1 franchise tag. And do you want to use it on other players? I don't think the Ravens really have a candidate for the franchise tag this year. And then the second thing is the cost implications of that. Right now, if you do a franchise tag, I think it takes a big chunk of your cap space up. Also, is it worth using the franchise tag on a center? So if you guys don't know about the franchise tag, let's go through in depth about it. So the franchise tag is a way that NFL teams can keep NFL players. They're 1-year franchise tag. You can have them for the next season. It's used to either keep a player there against their will, which is what it is, or you can use it to negotiate with the player, right? And then try to get a new deal. The issue is that the way the franchise tag is calculated from the pay scale is the top 5 highest salaries. They average that out. So, and it's different for every position. So for example, a quarterback right now, I believe, is around 24 million. And you know, you have a running back is much lower, different things like that. So it's beneficial to franchise tag some players, right? So for example, the Steelers, it's very beneficial for them to franchise tag Le'Veon Bell, because you only have to pay Le'Veon Bell, you know, the average of the top 5 running backs, and they don't make a lot compared to a quarterback. Now, and also another thing that doesn't really apply to the Ravens is that if you consistently franchise tag a player, it keeps on going up. So that's why a player like Kirk Cousins, who's been franchise tagged 2 years in a row, has made around $60 million over 2 years, even though he's not one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I bring all this up just so you guys can know. But the reason that this applies to Ryan Jensen and why the Ravens will not bring him back on that franchise tag is simply because the franchise tag is not as specific as you would think it is. So for example, left tackles make on average at the high end, I don't know about the low end, but at the high end, the top left tackle makes around 14-15 million. The top center makes 10 million, right? And so, and the highest paid center in the NFL right now is Brandon Linder at $10 million. The franchise tag right now only says linemen, so it includes left tackles, centers, and guards, right? I'm telling you right now, there is no center in the NFL that is a top 5 salary offensive lineman. They're all left tackles. Now, because of this, you're going to have to pay Ryan Jensen the average of the top 5 highest paid left tackles, which it will come in around right now about 12 million, 13 million. The highest paid center today is at 10 million. Linder, I think he's on the Jaguars. So you're going to pay Ryan Jensen after 1 year of performance, and he wasn't the best center in the league also, right? So 1 year of performance as not the best center in the league. You're going to pay, if you franchise tag him, that means you have to pay him 2 to 3 million more than the highest paid center. That's not a smart business move. I don't think it's going to happen, and I don't think the Ravens really want that to happen. What I think will happen, so Ravens fans, don't be afraid. What I think will happen is that Ryan Jensen will re-sign for around, I would say around $8 million. I really do think that there may be some teams trying to throw more money at him, but I think he likes Baltimore. I think that he grows. He's a system player, really. I honestly do think that, and I think that his family's here. He's not gonna, like, again, he may make $500,000 more, maybe $1 million, but no team. It's not gonna be like last year, where teams, frankly, overpaid for Ricky Wagner. Right? The Ravens had a number for Ricky at like 9 million, 10 million, and a team came and offered him 14 million or 13 million, whatever. It's not going to be like that. It's not going to be like Kyle Juszczyk, where the Ravens say you're a fullback, and then some team says, "Oh, you're the greatest fullback we've ever seen. Here's 5 million, 4 million more than the Ravens offered you." It's not going to be like that. So I think he will resign. He will not be franchise tagged, but he will be a good player for, years to come, I think, for the Baltimore Ravens. So there you go, Tanisha. He will not be franchise tagged, but I do think he'll still be a Baltimore Raven. Now we're going to go to the next question, and this question is from Greg Hunter. And Greg's question asks, who is your favorite prospect the Ravens may potentially draft? Thank you so much for this question. Now, I'm going to be honest for you guys. I do not know every college prospect out there. And honestly, the reason is a lot of times college football is not competitive. However, I do watch the big games, so I do know a lot of players who are the top players, like Sam Rosen. I know, all that good stuff. And Donald and all that good stuff. But what I will tell you is that the players who the Ravens can potentially get, I would say, Greg, you gotta listen to me. Calvin Ridley is the real deal Holyfield, okay? The boy can play. And then, again, I'm not a scout, and scouts should never do this. Scouts should never, ever say what I'm about to say. There is something in the back of my mind tickling right here, just a nice little tickle, telling me if I can get Amari Cooper or Julio Jones, you gotta take this cat. You got to. I've heard a lot of people say that he's better than Amari Cooper. I haven't heard anyone say he's better than Julio Jones now. But I've heard people say he's better than Amari Cooper. And if that is true, give me that every day of the week. Now, when the combine comes out, we'll see how fast he is, which is important. Especially at the receiver position, especially with Joe Flacco's deep throw ability. But I really honestly think that if he falls to us, then I will be so excited. And then if he's on the board when we pick, I can't see Ozzie saying no. We could draft. I mean, we could sign in free agency Marvin Harrison in his prime. Randy Moss in his prime, Jerry Rice in his prime. Ain't no way you telling me Ozzie Newsome is going to skip a wide receiver from Alabama. There's no way. Okay, we could have 100 receivers on the roster. Ain't no way Ozzie is skipping that. And so I think that if he drops, we'll get him. However, I don't think he'll be there because Chicago Bears at number 8 really need a receiver. So I think they'll take him at that spot. But if they do not, I think he will be the best one. Some other prospects, you got Orlando Brown Jr. A lot of people like him. I wasn't impressed. I was more impressed by the guy from Pitt, the offensive tackle. I can't remember his name right now. I was more impressed by him when I looked at some of the tape. So I would say currently right now that Calvin Ridley, number one. He is the guy right now. So that's who I would take if he was there. And that's who I think, that's who I want the Ravens to draft. So hopefully Ozzie makes the right decision and gets that guy in purple and black. So if he's there, of course. So thank you so much for your question. And now we're going to go to the next one. And this question is from Dangerous J52. And he asked, what are your thoughts on Matt Judon? I think in a few years he can be one of the best pass rushers in the league. Love the channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you enjoy the channel. I really enjoy bringing you guys content. But we do disagree on he could be one of the best pass rushers in the league. He can be good. I think his potential is best served when he's across from a player like Terrell Suggs. Now, again, we saw that when later in the season, when Terrell Suggs started getting tired, Judon's effectiveness really did wane. And it's just because he can win one-on-one matchups. I really do think he can, but can he beat double teams? You know, can he beat the best players, you know, in the league at the tackle position? I don't think so. I don't think he has the explosiveness in that first step. However, one thing I can say about him, and it's the same thing that impressed me about players like Ryan Jensen, is that every year he's been here, he ended up better than he started, right? So when he was a rookie, he was not even suiting up. At the end of the year, he was basically a starter. This year, started off as a starter and ended up as a very good player. Now, can he become a superstar? That's a big jump, right? When you think, in my head, I don't know about you guys, when I think superstar, I think Von Miller. Honestly, that's you know, especially as a pass rusher. Can he be Von Miller? I don't want to say not a chance in hell, because I'm not a future teller, and I would never talk about, you know, someone's skill unless they've proven it to me. Like, for example, can Mike Wallace be Jerry Rice? Not a chance in hell. But can Matt Judon become effective? Can Matt Judon be Elvis Dumervil? Yes. Matt Judon can be Elvis Dumervil at his peak, at his highest potential. Elvis Dumervil was a great player. He will struggle to get into a Hall of Fame. But at his peak, he was a great player. I think this is what Judon's best potential can be. The thing we also got to remember is that there are two hungry young men trying to get his spot, and Tyus Bowser and Tim Williams. We're going to push Tim Williams to the side because he's not ready. Tim Williams looked like me if I was out there trying to get past left tackles, okay? So he's not ready yet. Tyus Bowser, if he can get the pass rush skills down, the moves down, work with Terrell Suggs in the offseason, do what you got, whatever you got to do, he has a real chance of taking Judon's spot. Simply because he gives you so much flexibility in your scheme. Right now, if you have to drop off Terrell Suggs and Judon, you have to pick one. It's a hard choice because neither of them right now are great in zone coverage. Tyus Bowser doesn't have that issue. Now, Tyus Bowser may move to middle linebacker, and which I think would be a good fit right for him. But right now, I do think Judon is the starter. I think he has to watch out for his job, though. And I do not think he can be one of the best pass rushers in the league. He can be good. Well, I guess Elvis was one of the best in the league at one point in time. But he wasn't. Yeah. So I'm thinking about it. I still don't think he can. Elvis Dumervil's too good for this guy. I don't know. I don't think he has the first step. I just don't think he has that burst. Now if he shows me something this year, okay, I might change my mind. But right now, I do not think he can be the best, one of the best in the league. Sorry, Elvis, for comparing him to you. I was more thinking of Elvis in the end of his career. But when Elvis was with the Broncos at the height, Elvis was one of the best pass rushers in the league. So sorry about that, Elvis. My bad. Now we're going to go to the next question. And this question is the last question. Guys, I promise you there'll be another mailbag on Saturday, the Patreon only mailbag. So please check it out. And this question comes from It's Black Ace, and he says, should we resign Brent Urban? Guys, look at me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, look at me in my eyes right now. The Ravens need to re-sign Brent Urban. Okay? He's going to be cheap. He's a good player. That's all you need to know. Again, injury-prone guy, and I am against that. I am against injury-prone players. But he was part of the reason why the Ravens' run defense was so good in the beginning of the year. And it's just simple as that. Again, the Ravens played the Bengals in the beginning of the year. The Bengals have a good running back squad. He played great. Now, he's not going to make splash plays. But the thing is, you don't pay him to make splash plays. You pay him to hold the edge. You pay him to his work on special teams. And that doesn't cost a lot in the NFL. And so, get him. You can't pay every player on defense max money. You need good utility players. And he is a good utility player who's going to start for you, play most of the snaps on first and second down. On third down, you might take him out, put somebody more athletic in there. But he will help you, and he will not get beat consistently. The issue that we had at the end of the year, players like Carl Davis, especially against good running games, were being beat consistently. The Bears beat us consistently. It's the players like that. We need strong, sturdy players. Brent Urban is one of those players. Again, the Patriots do a great job in past years, not so much this year, of getting players like this. Sign him. Let him know that he will start and he will play and be a big part of this organization. And I honestly think that the Ravens will be a better run defense for it. You got to have bodies on that defensive line. If you don't have a superstar at quarterback, you need to build your team like the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles did not think before the season started that Carson Wentz was going to be an MVP candidate. That's why they signed some cheap receiver contracts for B-level receivers. That's why they have a lot of defensive linemen who are B-level defensive linemen. Now, they do have Fletcher Cox, who's an A-level defensive lineman, but they have a lot of B-levels. They're defensive backs, a lot of B-levels, but it's so much depth, right? The Ravens right now have C-level offensive players, and I would say, on average, B-plus level defensive players. They have some A's. You have Jimmy Smith, Eric Weddle, Brandon Williams, C.J. Mosley. But on defense, to be 100% honest with you guys, superstars alone don't win. On offense, only one superstar can win you a game. That's the quarterback, right? There's too many players on the defense for one player to have a impact that can win you a game. Even J.J. Watt, who has been the best defensive player in the last decade, he hasn't won a playoff game, right? He has not won a playoff game. You know who the best quarterback in the last decade is? Tom Brady, 5 Super Bowls. So, you either have to build your team like Tom Brady, or you build your team like the Eagles. Now, it's easy for the Eagles because Carson Wentz's contract is not short, but it's cheap. So, the Ravens don't have that luxury. But you got to find a way to build your team to best win. And there's only 2 ways to win in the NFL. And John Harbaugh said this, and he was 100% correct. You either have a star quarterback that makes everyone go from a B to a B plus to an A minus, or you have a team that has a lot of B pluses, a lot of Bs, and raise your quarterback from a B to an A. So that's the only choices you got. And I think Brent Urban is one of those players that he's not an A player, but in the role that he plays, he can be a B player, provide you valuable minutes, and help your team out. So that's what I say. If you disagree, let me know in the comment section below. You want your question on this? Comment section below. You want to help us? Description below about joining our Patreon page. If you guys want to yell at me, comment section below. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe and go Ravens.